Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on your zone. Thank you to participate and to attend to this event, which is very important to us on this COP28, where the big focus input on climate, and you know how linked the topics of climate and biodiversity are. And if we are to address the topic of climate change, we need also not to forget and to act concretely in order to deal with the biodiversity crisis. So I have the pleasure to welcome several guests that are here with us at the COP. And today we will talk about the Congo Basin. We will do a focus on Congo Basin and how a coalition that we have put together at WWF, bringing together several companies, will help to deliver on a new acronym, or a new concept that has been put together, which is the concept of country packages. So you may have seen 4 days ago was announced at the COP28 some new country packages on which the French government has engaged to put $50 million to help the Republic of Congo, and new country package will be announced. So before going further on the presentation, I'd like to invite Flora Beaubourg, which is an associate to the Ambassador of France, to explain us a bit, give us a few words about the concept and the interest of country packages.
Thank you very much. So yes, I was in charge of the negotiation of the country packages. So we have launched 4 country packages in Ghana, in Congo, in Democratic Republic of Congo, and in Papua New Guinea last Saturday. So the aim of this kind of partnerships is to bring sovereign actors, philanthropies, private sector, and with all of them, and of course NGOs, and all of them with different tools to strengthen our action and to support policy presented by a government. In the Congo Basin, we have Congo and DRC. In Congo, we committed collectively with the EU, Bezos Foundation, and France, and the Seed Fund for the country packages, to start with an initial amount of 50 million euros. And we have 4 main areas of action that will be first research, with the idea that if you start with research, you can have science-based action. The second one is conservation. Congo recently declared 3 new marine protected areas. So hopefully the country package will support the implementation of these protected areas with effective management, afforestation, and the last one is education. So we just launched the partnership, so it's difficult to go to specifically into the details. However, what I can say now is that we are going to set up a team to coordinate the different partners. And really the idea of this kind of packages is to go beyond coordination of the donors, is really to team up and try to have much more impact at the addition of all the different actors and all the different projects. In the medium term, it's also a way, hopefully, we'll see, to leverage and bring other actors into the table. And for instance, in Congo, it could be the GEF, it could be the World Bank, and hopefully, in the medium term, we'll have much more impact. The other thing I wanted to raise is that we started with 2 sovereign partners, the EU and France, and we are going also to extend this part and to have also use our support as donors, but as a political dialogue with the government in order also to be more coordinated within the EU, but also with development countries, because as you know, finance is a major point in our multilateral negotiation, and here, I mean, that's the best place to talk about this, but on biodiversity and on climate. And so these kind of partnerships are also a way to answer to our commitments on the climate side and on the biodiversity side.
Thank you very much, Flora. And now I'd like to invite our specialist and head of all the Congo Basin forests to introduce us and to explain to us why is the Congo Basin such a critical area of conservation and of intervention for WWF, and to have your words, your appreciation of the context, and the threats that face this important area. Laurence.
Thank you very much. And I think I would not like to spend too much time in repeating certain things that you might have heard already about the value and the importance of Congo Basin. But what I want to dwell on is actually as the spirit of the country packages. Also, as I can see in the title of this side event, to dwell on two things. The first one is actually how do we understand the partnership, and what are some of the principles and some of the key actors that will matter if we want to be successful in carrying forward with the country packages here. So yes, we are present in those two countries, DRC and the Congo, and there's a good reason why we are there for many years now, and also some other countries like Gabon and Cameroon. And we are learning and building on the One Planet Summit. I think for me, that was, I think, a very strong political engagement on some countries, notably France and some other countries and so on. That's actually give this impulse on how do we build coalition around something that matters to people. In America, they used to say la ruée vers l'or, meaning there are some goodies somewhere and there is a rush toward that. And the Congo Basin actually could be seen also as kind of El Dorado. El Dorado around the natural resources, the forests, and also the other minerals that we have. So it's very important that to make the best use of those natural resources, and particularly also to ensure sustainability in the use of those natural resources, that there are certain principles that are set, and hence the importance of the partnership. And we were lucky enough that during the last second summit of the Tree Basin, we, together with some other partners, try to go beyond some of the elements that you just mentioned, and also to pay a lot of attention to the economic value of the forest. And I'm pleased actually here to acknowledge the presence of some partners which we have been actually working, bringing them into the coalition, into this partnership here, which is the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, where actually under the leadership of the Economic Community of a Central African state, ECAS, ou CEAC in French, try to see how we will bring in a private sector for them also to play their role. Because it's easy to come and mine and go. No. They should be there for long. And for them to be there for long, it's important that those people who are benefiting from that make the space for them. And if they don't see why important it is to have a, let's say, I take example, I don't say Total, but we take a logging company that's mining. If we want to ensure sustainability in the activities, it means that the coalition should include those private sector, and beyond the private sector, the local community and the indigenous people around that. That's why it's very important in these country packages that we are inclusive enough in the approach that we have. It's not just the donors that you mentioned. No, we have to go beyond that. Go beyond in ensuring that the private sector, and I think I want to insist on that, we also want to make sure that some institutions that you mentioned, research. Yes, research and economic element could be also included in the research and so on. That's why it's important that as we are launching those country packages, we are trying to be holistic enough, inclusive enough to not miss these kind of partners and so on. That's where we as WWF on the ground, working together with our partners like WWF France and other, and also civil society, and I want to acknowledge the presence of my friend here, the civil society, where they are, Nikes, my brother Nikes, yes, to bring them in, yes, the parliamentarians and so on. We are all in the same boat and so on. So it's important. Country packages, we should own it together, and the most important thing that we know that we depend on that. Yeah. So this is my words and what I would want to list as one of the prerequisites for a successful implementation of the country packages. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Laurent. And something which is also quite specific to the Congo Basin is that, contrary to some other forestry ecosystems, it's also quite a well-preserved area right now, and that we have seen a lot of threats. And so the type of projects we are also wanting to do are not only to restore, but also to preserve. And because we have seen, we are already seeing some very concrete impacts of the climate change on the Congo Basin. We have seen, for example, some reduction in the fruits in the forests, meaning that then all the animals that are depending on this, starting with the elephants, are needing to look for more fruits, and there are more and more conflicts. So maybe you could say a few words, Laura, if you want, about the type of projects also concretely on the ground that WWF is implementing with the local communities and with in order to improve also the sustainable value chains like the one on cocoa.
Yes, just maybe two quick examples. The first one is actually, it's very important that everybody get to reap the rip-off from, let's say, the value of the forest. And that's why one of the example I will give is actually to ensure that the local communities and the indigenous people around protected areas get access to the benefits, like from the logging companies. That's like in some countries, and I will take the example of Cameroon and to some extent Gabon, where there are some taxes that are paid to the government, and part of this money should go and are going actually to the municipalities and the local communities. Why am I taking these examples? It's very important because it ensures social sustainability. Let's not just focus on the environmental sustainability or the economic. Social sustainability is critical, and it cannot be done without them also getting something out of that. Yeah. And the second example, as you mentioned, is actually the cocoa. That's some of the commodities. This include palm oil, also the cocoa. And that's why the government of Central Africa has been part of the initiatives that has been actually renewed last year at the COP27. around the initiative for the sustainable production of some of those commodities, and they are now actually expanded to include coffee. Why this is important, actually, again, is come to the sustainability, the economic sustainability of it. But also, since we are talking about the climate change, to ensure that wherever the landscape where we are living in, also to take into account some of the dimension of actually some of the changes that's happening within those landscapes and so on. Yeah. And we are also talking about access to those commodities and the farms and so on, because it's again part of the economic sustainability. And we have seen that more and more in those countries, and I was just seeing some images from Gabon, where many roads, because of the floods and so on, has been, many parts are cut off from the capital and so on. So what will happen? All the harvests will rot. And this is due to what? We're talking about climate change, flood, and so on. This is one of the effects of it, and so on. How do we ensure that does not happen? It means that we have to ensure that the government and also the private sector, because they are the one who benefit from also all these other, that the basic infrastructure, be it social, be it infrastructure like roads, are properly in place and are resilient. This is a word that we have heard very often in this resilience. Resilience is a physical, the roads, good road, but it's also, as I was saying, social resilience and so on. Let's not forget about that. And finally, resilience is also economic. So the value, we should know how much it costs to go and cut a tree, and this has to be somehow be paid accordingly. If not, we're just mining, and at the end, we are not going to have the sustainability we wanted and so on. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you very much, Laurent and Flora. You can go back. So we have heard also how it is important to involve and include the private sector in this journey, and that it's important also to be aligned and I would say compatible with the spirit and the movement of which is impulsed by the country packages. And so I'd like also to invite a representative of the private sector, which is one of our partners, Yann Fortunato from Racine de France. And so together we will also speak about the coalition, a private sector coalition that we have been launching a few months from now, and that we are still bringing together, that we are still building, and on which we invite all the companies that are also willing to act very concretely, to join us, to contact me, to contact Yann, to contact WWF, in order to be able to act together and to contribute very concretely to these initiatives. So just a few words about what do we expect from the private sector. Just to step back a bit, we are not able to fight deforestation if the corporate sector do not meet their targets. So first things first, I would say, it's always important to recall that the first responsibility of companies when it comes to forest is to fight deforestation, so to make zero deforestation, zero conversion commitments, and then to implement it on the ground. But we know also that we are not, and we will not be able to fill the financial gap if companies are not also directly involved and directly putting also money on the table in order to be able to finance the preservation and the restoration of forests. So we really need both. And here on the map, we see also the discrepancy that exists between the flow of money between the different three big forest basins in the world. And we see, despite the fact that the Congo Basin has become the first basin to absorb carbon emissions, the fact that this is really underfinanced. So this is why we have decided to act and to launch this coalition in order to be able to increase the amount of funding in order to be able to support and to scale up the initiatives that were described by Laurent just before. So this coalition, we have launched it at Brazzaville a few months ago. And we have started with some 3 very pragmatic objectives. The one being supporting some forestry community projects. Second one being supporting the sustainable cocoa value chain. And the third point, which is that I would like to develop more, is developing the concept and some very operational projects on payment for ecosystem services. This is something we really believe in, because we need to be able to put a value on forests that are on foot. The tree must have more value standing than being cut. And this is really what, in order to be able to do that and to operationalize this concept, we need some financial tools, some financial mechanism. And at WWF, we believe that this payment for economic services can really be an answer, not the only answer, but an answer to be able to help on the ground the forestry companies, to help the countries that own these forests to be able to find new ways to get incoming capital, incoming finance to support the preservation and the operational costs of the preservation of their forests. So I would like now to, so I have a slide to explain the name here. Like I said, we have a few members on the coalition already. We are very happy to have some commitments of these companies, but of course, you have seen the size of the projects we are talking about, so we need more, and we need to join forces in order to be able to reach impact at scale, of course. And so now I would like to give the opportunity to Jan to explain the reason why you choose to commit on this coalition, why it makes sense for you, your approach, and maybe also focus on this idea of payment for ecosystem services.
Thank you, Nicolas. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everywhere you are, and good evening, dear Nicolas, and dear everybody. After that few words in English, I'm going to speak in French because, and I'm sorry, I am a little sick today, and it will be better for me, but I understand everything, and I can respond in English, of course. Je suis Yann Fortunato, mon métier est d'être expert forestier en France et dans le monde, et ça fait 25 ans que nous sommes convaincus, non pas par opportunisme du moment, mais par réelle croyance et racine de l'importance de la place des arbres et de la forêt dans les territoires, et c'est le métier de Racines de France. Aujourd'hui, c'est d'être à la fois conseil et d'être investisseur dans des projets de préservation des forêts dans le monde, et des grandes forêts primaires, bien évidemment, dont celle du Congo, qui est, et vous l'avez rappelé, Nicolas, la seule forêt dorénavant qui est captatrice de carbone dans le monde, et donc qui doit absolument revêtir l'ensemble des intérêts du monde entier pour sa préservation. Donc nous, notre savoir et notre expertise, c'est à la fois dans le conseil, et à partir du moment où on est rentré en voie de discussion avec les territoires, les États ou les filières, c'est d'être capable de se réinscrire dans un itinéraire profondément durable basé sur une espèce de totem qui s'appelle l'arbre et qui est révélateur et symptomatique, en tout cas l'emblème et le totem de la durabilité des territoires. Pourquoi? Et je crois qu'on le rappelle depuis le début de cette COP, l'arbre et les forêts sont essentiels à cette durabilité que nous recherchons aujourd'hui, tout le monde le sait, par rapport à 4 ou 5 thématiques essentielles qu'il faut bien avoir présent à l'esprit. Le monde est aujourd'hui gangréné par un air ultra pollué et chargé en carbone qui crée le réchauffement climatique que l'on connaît et la 3e cause de mortalité dans le monde. Le monde est gangréné aujourd'hui d'une perte de biodiversité, non pas inquiétante, mais alarmante. Partout dans les territoires, chacun d'entre nous est très inquiet par la rupture des cycles de l'eau que nous connaissions et qui sont essentiels. Au 4e thème auquel j'arrive immédiatement, qui est l'autonomie alimentaire et nutritionnelle des territoires, pour laquelle l'eau, la biodiversité et la qualité des équilibres de l'air sont essentiels pour répondre aux attentes des communautés dont vous avez tout à l'heure aussi très bien parlé, cher monsieur. Et donc, tout ça pour rappeler, bien évidemment, l'importance de la place de l'arbre et des forêts. Et si l'arbre et les forêts ne sont pas la solution à tout, c'est en tout cas la solution sans laquelle toutes les autres solutions ne seront rien si on ne résout pas celle-ci. Et donc, concernant notre action, eh bien, notre action aujourd'hui s'intéresse à la fois à la préservation des forêts là où elles sont. Il s'agit bien évidemment de préserver et de redimensionner aux attentes de tous les objectifs de ce monde, premièrement. Deuxièmement, de réaccompagner les territoires, soit dévégétalisés, soit à revégétaliser aujourd'hui au travers d'itinéraires agroforestiers pour remettre de l'arbre en connexion avec l'agriculture et pour réapprendre à ces deux mondes qui se sont tournés le dos pendant tant d'années et qui doivent absolument retrouver la nécessité de retravailler ensemble, main dans la main, dans une même direction, car agriculture sans forêt n'a pas de sens et vice-versa. Donc ces deux mondes aujourd'hui doivent se rapprocher. Nous avons parlé tout à l'heure de commodities comme le café, le chocolat, le thé et bien d'autres encore qui ne trouveront pas de durabilité sans revenir à l'essentiel de ce qu'elles étaient, c'est-à-dire des commodities forestières. Et donc, il faut absolument remettre l'arbre dans les cultures. Et puis enfin, mais c'est marginal par rapport au sujet d'aujourd'hui, remettre de l'arbre dans la ville, à revégétaliser de demain, et ça permettra d'aller plus vite encore dans tous ces objectifs. Alors comment faire tout ça ? Bien évidemment, seul le secteur privé n'y peut pas suffisamment. Le secteur public manque lui aussi de moyens. Et ça n'est, je pense, qu'une convergence de trois acteurs essentiels. De l'expertise, des porteurs de projets et des États fortement convaincus de cet état des lieux que l'on vient de rappeler, qui vont fonctionner main dans la main, vraisemblablement, avec le déploiement de projets partenariaux publics-privés, des PPP, qui vont permettre de répondre à cette nécessité de protection, de redimensionnement et d'accompagnement des territoires pour répondre à ces nécessités environnementales et économiques. Et j'en arrive à ce point-là, et ça fait 4 jours qu'on est maintenant à la COP et que tout le monde le rappelle, économie sans environnement n'a pas de sens, et comme l'environnement sans économie n'ira pas loin non plus. Et donc, comment l'économie peut-elle participer à cette revégétalisation et à cette sauvegarde ? D'abord, en faisant que chacune des entreprises, et notamment de ces grandes entreprises du monde aujourd'hui, qui sont des acteurs et qui, après la diminution de leur impact, doivent participer à cette reconstruction de notre environnement bien mal en point. Et tout ça urgemment. Et donc, les entreprises, et on le sait, ont cette nécessité de faire germer cet extra financier. Et donc, leur investissement au bénéfice de la préservation des forêts, et notamment de ce grand projet auquel je crois terriblement, parce que j'ai rappelé l'importance de cette forêt du bassin du Congo, eh bien, les grandes entreprises doivent aujourd'hui s'investir pour la préservation et la reconstruction, en tout cas, pas la reconstruction, parce qu'on l'a dit tout à l'heure, on a la chance qu'elle soit largement préservée, mais en tout cas pour la continuité de sa protection. Donc, engagement des entreprises en travaillant les extra financiers, quels sont-ils ? Eh bien évidemment le carbone, mais parler de carbone sans biodiversité n'est rien. Et c'est la raison pour laquelle moi je préférerais vous parler de crédit capital naturel, qui est la conjonction du carbone et de la biodiversité, tout en allant vers le thème que vous avez présenté, monsieur, tout à l'heure, qui est bien évidemment l'inclusion des communautés, parce que rien de mieux aujourd'hui que les gens qui sont en connexion avec la forêt depuis tant d'années, tant de décennies, pour nous aider à co-construire des projets qui prennent en compte la connaissance des communautés et de leur environnement. Donc les communautés, comment sont-elles arrivées parfois ailleurs dans le monde à détruire leur environnement ? Eh bien parce que l'économie a été plus forte que leur connaissance de leur écosystème. Et donc aujourd'hui, l'économie doit apporter, par la reconnaissance de ce que la forêt apporte à l'intérêt général, qualité de l'air, j'en ai parlé, qualité des sols, biodiversité, One Health, santé humaine. Il n'y aura pas de santé humaine sans santé environnementale. Et donc, il faut reconnaître à la place de l'arbre et aux forêts ce rôle essentiel. Donc, tout ça, il va falloir le financer aux porteurs de projets, de façon à ce que, comme vous l'avez dit Nicolas tout à l'heure, eh bien, un arbre sur pied ait plus de valeur qu'un arbre coupé et que nous arrivions tous ensemble à sortir de cette seule économie qui était une économie basée sur l'extraction à une économie basée sur la préservation par la reconnaissance de ce rôle essentiel de l'arbre et des forêts dans les territoires. Thank you so much.
And in terms of also the concrete payment for ecosystem services, do you have some examples of projects you have already been involved in or that you would like to see? You were mentioning the capital environmental credits.
Alors un projet que nous sommes en train de porter aujourd'hui dans un pays dans un pays voisin, le Togo pour ne pas le citer. Le Togo a une problématique de réchauffement climatique, de préservation de sa forêt, de montée des eaux. Bon bref, rien de bien nouveau dans tout ce que l'on sait aujourd'hui de ce qui vient frapper à la porte de chacun de nos pays dans le monde entier. Et le Togo a fait dans son environnement, comme dans la sous-région, la reconnaissance que l'anacardier était un arbre qui était adapté à la protection de ses territoires, adapté au réchauffement climatique. Et donc, il a fallu se poser la question de savoir comment réintroduire, ou en tout cas promouvoir l'anacardier dans ces territoires, en créant suffisamment de valeur ajoutée pour apporter des réponses aux thèmes que j'ai présentés tout à l'heure. Et donc, on porte au Togo, dans un projet que nous avons construit avec le gouvernement, toute une chaîne de valeur, en tout cas toute la reconstruction d'une chaîne de valeur autour de l'anacardier, basée sur 200 000 hectares de présence de l'anacardier, pour extraire, en tout cas pour valoriser une molécule végétale qui est contenue dans la coque de noix de cajou. Cette molécule va nous permettre demain de faire du plastique végétal vraisemblablement, mais des peintures végétales, des résines végétales et tout un tas de choses qui vont permettre de remplacer des utilisations hydrocarbures. Et donc, en ce sens, on répond véritablement à la décarbonation industrielle de ce monde et ça nous permet de créer une valeur additionnelle qui va financer tout l'amont qui sécurise dans le même temps notre projet industriel. L'amont, comment est-il financé ? Eh bien, il est financé par cette additionnalité de création de valeur ajoutée, mais il est financé aussi par cet extra-financier dont vous parliez tout à l'heure, Nicolas, de création, de captation de carbone et de reconnaissance environnementale de la présence de l'arbre, conduite en agroforestier, de manière à ne pas fatiguer les sols dans l'extraction de l'eau nécessaire à la pousse des arbres et à faire germer tous ces indicateurs. Comment ces indicateurs aujourd'hui sont-ils valorisés ? Eh bien, ils sont valorisés par des investissements de partenaires industriels qui, en soutenant nos projets, soit par du mécénat, soit par de l'investissement privé à nos côtés, eh bien, font remonter leur extra-financier dans leurs entreprises et nous permettent de porter ce projet sur 200 000 hectares de reforestation et d'alimentation, puisqu'on est aussi dans de la production alimentaire par un schéma agroforestier et en reconnaissant à cet itinéraire-là les indicateurs capital naturel, encore une fois, carbone, préservation du cycle de l'eau et biodiversité, qui viennent compléter le financement de notre programme. Voilà, Nicolas. Et donc, ce que l'on fait dans ce territoire, nous sommes en capacité aujourd'hui de pouvoir le dupliquer ailleurs. L'anacardier n'est pas la solution aux autres territoires, mais il s'agit aujourd'hui de rentrer en voie de discussion avec les territoires et avec nos partenaires, venir chercher les meilleurs pour créer cette additionnalité de valeur ajoutée et cette recherche et ce travail sur les indicateurs environnementaux. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Jan, for your testimony. And so you've seen, so this is just one example of the many possibles that we can achieve together. And so again, all this initiative is meant to be able to be compatible and to help to contribute to the broader country packages that will be set up, because we are sure that there will be additional ones in other top priority countries. So WWF is really on board in order to be at the heart, I would say, of these initiatives. And also to bring other partners with us. And we've seen how we need to have the strong involvement and commitment of the private sector. So again, For all those that are online or in the room today, I would invite you to join us and to contact us to be able to be part of this coalition, to be part of this initiative, and to also engage your broader ecosystem, because every single company, every single actor, whatever your sector, whatever your position in the supply chain, has the ability to also engage its broader ecosystem. So we really invite you to be part of this journey and to contribute with us. And so I think we will take the time that is still here in order to be able to exchange with the room, because we know here in the COP how time is constrained. So thank you very much for all those online who have followed us, and see you soon.